Students, in continuation of the parts, we are dealing with this part of this hybridization of the molecules which possesses sp3d2 hybridization. जिस मॉलिक्यूल का sp3d2 हाइब्रिडाइजेशन है ऐसे मॉलिक्यूल को हम यहाँ पे एक्सप्लेन करने वाले हैं। पहले इसमें से SF6 एग्जांपल की बात करते हैं। SF6, उसके बाद में है FeF6, FeF6, again what that is PF5 negative charge. These are example possesses what sp3d2 hybridization. Again what COH2O taken 6 times, 3 negative charge. Again what COF6, 3 negatively charged. FeF6, that is 3 negative charge. Again what another types of the example, that is the which possesses CONH3, 6 3 positive, and what COCN6 again what 3 negative. These two example which possesses what D2sp3 hybridization. Again another example, that is the IF5, again ICL5, BREF5, उसके बाद में है XeOF4, XeF4 and what ICL4 negative charge. These are all examples having what sp3d2 hybridization. स्टेप बाय स्टेप यहाँ पे हम एक्सप्लेन करते हैं। जो मॉलिक्यूल sp3d2 we can say D2sp3 हाइब्रिडाइजेशन बताते हैं, ऐसे एग्जांपल को हम स्टेप बाय स्टेप यहाँ पे एक्सप्लेन करेंगे। सबसे पहले we can take this one of the O, that chalcogen family, which is belonging what nitrogen, phosphorus, selenium, tellurium. ऐसे एग्जांपल को यहाँ पे हम एक्सप्लेन करेंगे। So that is molecules SF6, FeF6 and what PF5 negative charge. इसमें से पहला एग्जांपल हम यहाँ पे लेते हैं SF6 central atom which contain sulfur atom, electronic configuration, outermost electronic configuration NH2 NP4 means what, which contain the 6 electrons. So valence electron is 6 and it's monovalent. How many है? Monovalent 6. So cation की संख्या यहाँ पे 0 है, anion की संख्या यहाँ पे 0 है. So what is the hybridization? Hybridization is equal to what? 1/2. The formula is that V plus M minus C plus A. V plus M minus C plus A. So that is equal to 1/2. वैलेंस इलेक्ट्रॉन्स यहाँ पे C है, मोनोवैलेंट 6 है, कैटायन की संख्या 0 है, अनायन की संख्या 0 है. So is equal to what? 1/2 12. That is we get 6 answer is there. So that's why SPD 2D and 3D. This is called as what? sp3d2 hybridization. What is the geometry? As you can say, yes, central atom, yes. Again what? That is the fluorine atoms. How many fluorine? That is the 6 fluorine atom is there. 6 fluorine. So as you can say, this is the octahedral in nature. So the geometry of this molecules, it is what? SF6 having what? Octahedral in nature. So that is the octahedral in nature. As you can say, octahedral. So total lone pair of electrons की हम यहाँ पे बात करते हैं 1 2 3 4 5 6, which each fluorine contain 3 lone pair of electrons. Each fluorine contain 3 lone pair of electrons. That is 3 into 6 is equal to 18. 18 lone pair of electrons. Bond pair of electrons की बात करते हैं 1 2 3 4 5 6. 6 bond pair of electrons. So total number of electrons 18 के हो गए 36 और 6 के हो गए 12. So that is total number of electrons. Total electrons यहाँ पे होते हैं 6 plus 2 8, 3 plus 1 4, 48. टोटल नंबर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स इस मॉलिक्यूल में होते हैं 48. लोन पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन 18, बॉन्ड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन 6. उसके बाद में टोटल नंबर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन 48. ऑक्टाहेड्रल इन नेचर, sp3d2 हाइब्रिडाइजेशन. ये मॉलिक्यूल इस मॉलिक्यूल का ज्योमेट्री होता है सेम. दैट्स व्हाई वी कॉल this is the isostructural, as well as we can say this is these types of the molecule. These two example are isostructural and isoelectronic, and these four examples are what isostructural. यहाँ पे p(5) की बात करते हैं. नेक्स्ट एग्जांपल p(5) negative. So why? Because this is the p(5) that is negative. p(5) or p(6), that is what? p(6). So the example is what? p(6). p(6), why it carries the negative charge? p(6), these molecules which possesses what? Negatively charged species. So here the phosphorus, as you can say, outermost electronic combustion is what? ns2np what? ns2np4. Sorry, ns2np3. So means what? 5 electrons is present in valence shell. So as you can say, valence electron is 5. So that is the monovalent. Is the 6 monovalent. कटायन की संख्या 0 है, अनायन की संख्या यहाँ पे 0 है. So what is the hybridization? That is hybridization is equal to 1/2. As you can see, V plus M minus C plus A. This is the formula. So as you can calculate this 1/2. वैलेंस इलेक्ट्रॉन्स इसमें कितने हैं? 6 है, प्लस मोनोवैलेंट 6 है. कटायन की संख्या 0 है, अनायन की संख्या 1 है. So as you can say, that is the pf6. pf6 negative charge is there, na? So okay, sorry here. So that is the valence electron is 5. So total यहाँ पे 5 plus 6 plus 1 is equal to 12. Means 1/2. That is equal to what? 6. We got the 6 answer. That's why the hybridization is what? sp3d2. So we can say instead of this is the sulfur atom, this one is the phosphorus. And as we know that this nitrogen family, nitrogen phosphorus, this nitrogen as well as the phosphorus, which is attached to only 5 bond. Why? Because of this outermost electron contain the 5 electron. But here one bond is excess. That's why we call this negatively charged species. So the structure of the, again what we can say, geometry of molecules are octahedral in nature. Total lone pair of electron and bond pair of electrons is equal to what? It is similar to what? SF6. So that's why this is the isostructure with the SF6. ये आइसोस्ट्रक्चरल है SF6 का. ज्योमेट्री ऑक्टाहेड्रल, sp3d2 हाइब्रिडाइजेशन. टोटल नंबर ऑफ द लोन पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन 36, बॉन्ड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन 12. टोटल इलेक्ट्रॉन्स यहाँ पे लोन पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन 18 है, बॉन्ड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन 6 है, और टोटल इलेक्ट्रॉन्स 48 है. So this is what, as you can say, pf6 is the isostructural with what? EF6 as well as SF6. In continuation of the parts, we are dealing with the next example, that is the CO FeF6 as well as this is what a COF6 and what FeH2O. FeH2O taken 6 times as well as FeF6 is there. So that is the coordinate complex. We are having the coordinate complex CONH3 taken 6 times, 3 positive, as well as we can take another example, that is COCN6 bracket, this is the 3 negative charges there. We can take this is the COH2O taken 6 times 3 negative here, as well as we can take FeH2O taken 6 times. So both molecules that is the both complex have the same coordination number and same oxidation state. So we are having this is the cobalt is there, that is the 6 ligand. It is directly attached to water. This can take this water molecule, 6 water molecules. It is the aqua ligand. It is called as the aqua ligand, which is bonded to the central metal atoms. The coordinate covalent. This one can say this is the coordinate bond is obtained. So this metal, this is the metal, and this one is the ligand. 6 ligand is there. This is the 3 negative charge. Means coordination number is whenever the coordination number is 6. As you can say, the hybridization is sp3d2, and this is the octahedral in nature. This is the geometry of these types of the compound is octahedral nature. So similar way for the FeH2O6. Instead of CO, we can take this is the Fe atom is there. So this is the Fe1 is there. So that's why these both molecules are complex. We can say both complex having the isostructural. So coordination number is 6, same coordination number, same hybridization and same water geometry. Instead of water we can take, this is the ammonia, NH3. This one is 3 positive charge. Again another example we can take, this is COCN. So this cyanide is the stronger ligand is there. Cyanide is the stronger ligand, and this ammonia is the moderate ligand. But when with the cobalt and with copper, it act as a stronger ligand. So the geometry is the same. As you can say, this is the cobalt. Instead of water molecules, we can take this is the ammonia as a ligand. This ammonia as a ligand. So how many ligand is there? 6 ligand is there. So again it possesses octahedral in nature. The geometry of these types of the complex is octahedral in nature. Coordination number is 6, sp3d2. Again, but this hybridization is changes because due to the presence of stronger ligand, d2 sp3 hybridization, and having the octahedral in nature, this is also the hybridization is what d2sp3. Again these types of the complex having the same hybridization, d2sp3. So these are what coordinate complex. As you can say, this is the coordinate bond is formed between the central metal atoms and the ammonia as a ligand. Just like to these types of the example, it possesses again what octahedral in nature, having the same coordination number and same hybridization. So as we can say, this is known as a isostructural. तो ये दो एग्जांपल एक दूसरे के क्या है, आइसोस्ट्रक्चरल है. इन कंटिन्यूएशन वी आर डिस्कसिंग द नेक्स्ट एग्जांपल IF5 ICl5 and BRF5. So we are having this BRF5 ICl5 and BF5, ICl5 BRF5. So in this types of the example, that is the halogen atoms is the central atom. Halogen atom is the central atom. So we are discussing the next example, that is IF5 BRF5, IF5 BRF5 and ICl5. So that is IF5. First we can take IF5. In this case, iodine as the central atoms having outermost electronic combination NH2NP5. So that is the 7 electron is present in valence shell. V is equal to 7. Monovalent यहाँ पे हम बात करते हैं, total monovalent यहाँ पे है 5. So this is the IF5. What is the hybridization? Hybridization is equal to 1/2 V plus M minus C plus A. So that is what 1/2. वैलेंस इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ पे 7 है, मोनोवैलेंट 5 है, कटायन यहाँ पे 0 है, अनायन 0 है. So this is equal to 1/2. 7 7 8 9 10 11 12 12 हो गए यहाँ पे. So that is equal to 6. Again we are having the that is the hybridization is what sp3d2. इसका हाइब्रिडेशन आया sp3d2. आयोडीन सेंट्रल एटम है. टोटल फ्लोरीन एटम्स यहाँ पे हम डिस्कस करते हैं, that is the IF5 is there. So we are having the IF5 1 2 3 4 5. So this is what trigonal, as you can see, is the trigonal of this 6 atom is there. 1 2 3 4 5 atom is there, and one another is a 6 7. So total number of electron, that is, but these types of the molecule it possesses, it is a not trigonal bipyramidal or trigonal pyramidal, but it possesses iodine atom is here. So that is the how many fluorine atom? That is the 5 fluorine. 1 2 3 4 and here is the 5. So this is the square, as you can say, this is the square planar. So this is the square pyramidal, and here one of the lone pair of electrons. Why one lone pair of electrons? Because of iodine atoms having the total in outermost electron, which contain the total 7 electrons. 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. So total here bond pair. अब यहाँ पे bond pair of electron देखते हैं, 5 bond pair है, और lone pair of electron iodine के साथ. हम यहाँ पे iodine की डिस्कस करते हैं. आयोडीन के पास बॉन्ड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन 5 है, लोन पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन 1 है. सो दैट्स व्हाई 2 electrons from the lone pair of lone pair and 5 electrons from the bond pair. That's why we call the 7 electron in its valence shell. And what is the total number of lone pair of electrons? हम इस मॉलिक्यूल में total number of lone pair और bond pair electron की बात करते हैं. So that is the fluorine atoms which contain 3 lone pair of electrons. Each fluorine atoms which contain the 3 lone pair of electrons. So total lone pair of electron यहाँ पे हम देखते हैं 3 plus 3 6, 6 plus 6 12, 12 13 14 15 16. This total lone pair of electrons यहाँ पे है 16. So this was 3 plus 3 6, 9, 9 plus 10 12, 12 plus 3 again 14, 15 and 16. Bond pair of electron 5 bond pair of electrons. अब देखना है 16 मतलब टोटल 16 के हो गए 32 और लोन पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन बॉन्ड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स इसके 5 के हो गए 10. टोटल नंबर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स यहां पे हम कैलकुलेट करते हैं 2 3 5. सो दैट इज व्हाट 42. टोटल नंबर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स यहां पे है TEC हम यहां पे कहते हैं टोटल नंबर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स. That is what total number of electron in its molecule, that is the I of 5 which contain what 42 electrons. Contain 42 electrons, lone pair 16 lone pair, total 32 electrons, bond pair 5, total 10 electrons is equal to what 42 electrons. So these molecules which are having what the name of the geometry square pyramidal. This is called as what square pyramidal. So that is the hybridization द्वारा sp3. ये मॉलिक्यूल को स्क्वायर पिरामिडल कहा जाता है. नेक्स्ट एग्जांपल हम डिस्कस करते हैं which types of the molecules again show the square pyramidal molecules, that is the ICl5. Just like to IF5, ICl5 again BrEF5. So this example is also having what we can say isostructural. So the same geometry, that is we can say ICl, instead of fluorine atoms, that is we can take these chlorine atoms, same number of lone pair of electron, bond pair of electron and total number of electrons, same hybridization and same geometry, that is called as we can say ICl5 as well as BrEF5 having the isostructural as well as isoelectronic. Isostructural as well as isoelectronic. In continuation यहाँ पे हम लास्ट एग्जांपल डिस्कस करते हैं, that is the XeOF4 and XeF4. So we are having the two example that is remaining. XeOF4 that contain this xenon which contain an inert group or we can say zero group elements, zero group family or noble gas family. We are having what XeF4 and XeOF4. Two example, we are having two example, that is the XeOF4 and next example XeF4. So these types of example, first of all we discussed Xa atoms, which are, this is the outermost electronic composition, this Xa having the NH2 NP6, total 8 electron is present in its valence shell. As you can say V equal to 8, monovalent यहाँ पे है 4, cation की संख्या 0, anion की संख्या 0. So we are having this is the formula for the calculation of the hybridization. 1 by 2 V plus M minus C plus A. So that is what? Again we are having this what hybridization is 1 by 2. What is the valence electrons? 8. Monovalent 4. Cation 0, anion 0. 8 plus 4 is equal to 12. Divided by 2, यहाँ पे आंसर आ गया 6. Means what? Hybridization द्वारा sp3d2. Again we are having the Xe atoms and one of the oxygen. Oxygen, as we know that this oxygen atom is a divalent in nature. So 2 electron is joined with this. Again the 2 bonded atoms is what? Because of the oxygen atom is a divalent and remaining 4 fluorine atom. Remaining what? As you can say 4 fluorine atom is there. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. That is we are represented here this 4 fluorine atom. So that is what we can say this XeF4. 1 electron, 2 electron, 3 electron, 4 electron, 5 electron, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and what? 7 and 8. Total Xe contain total 8 electrons. So as you can say Xe atoms which are having the lone pair of electron is 1 and the bond pair of electron is 0. Here in complete example, that is the lone pair of electrons, 1 2, and these fluorine atoms, each fluorine atoms having 3 lone pair of electrons, each fluorine atoms having 3 lone pair of electrons, 3 और 3 6 12 12 13 14 और 15, लोन पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन की संख्या 15 है, बॉन्ड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन की संख्या, कंप्लीट मॉलिक्यूल की एग्जांपल हम बात कर रहे हैं कौन सा, HCOF4 में कंप्लीट एग्जांपल में लोन पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन 15 है, बॉन्ड पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन 1 2 3 4 5 6 है। उसके बाद में यहाँ पे इसके हो गए 30 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स, लोन पेयर के 30 और बॉन्ड पेयर के हो गए 12, so that is total is what of 52, as you can see 52 lone pair of electrons, once more 3 plus 3 6, 6 plus 6 12, 12 13 14 15, so okay 15 के 30, उसके बाद 1 2 3 4 5 6 और 6 12, so that is total 52, sorry 42, total यहाँ पे आ गए हमारे 42 electrons, total 42 electrons. What is the geometry? It is called as again the square, as you can say square pyramidal, having sp3 due to hybridization, square pyramidal geometry. Just like to the first example we have been explained, that is the IF5 BRF5 as well as ICL5. The next example discussing this HCF4. So again in HC, that is the 8 and the monovalent is 4. So that is again what HC, hybridization is sp3d2 for this molecule. But in this herein this geometry is different. In these types of the molecules HCF4, यहाँ पे HCF4 का geometry different होगा. Of course यहाँ पे हम देखते हैं इसका lone pair of electron की संख्या और bond pair of electron की संख्या कैसी होती है. चलो HC atom में यहाँ पे xenon, so that is the xenon atoms and the 4 fluorine atom, 1 2 3 4. This is the 4 fluorine atoms. We have been written, this is the 4 fluorine atoms. Again we call this is the square, the geometry of such types of the example, this is the square planar. So square planar, here these 2 lone pair of electron and again what lone pair of electrons, here 2 lone pair of electron and 4 bond pair of electron. With HC we are having this is lone pair of electron, 2 bond pair of electron, 4. So 2 lone pair and 4 bond pair. In complete molecules again we are counting this total number of electrons. Again fluorine atoms having the 3 lone pair of electrons. Again what? Total 3 plus 3 6 plus 12. So in total example हम total molecule की बात करते हैं. Lone pair of electrons यहाँ पे total कितने हैं? 3 plus 3 6, 6 plus 6 12, 13 and ये 14 lone pair of electrons. Bond pair of electrons है यहाँ पे 4 bond pair of electrons, 4 के बने 8 और 14 के बने 28. So that is called as, because see this is the 8 plus 8 16 and 1 this is the 30. So as you can see 36 total electrons. The geometry of such types of the example, it is called as square planar geometry having the sp3d2 hybridization. Square planar geometry having what? sp3d2 hybridization. So these all example possesses what? sp3d2 hybridization. As we can say these are what? Isostructural. यहाँ पे और एक example हम बता सकते हैं, that is ICL4 negatively charged. So why because this is negatively charged and this possesses the geometry what is sp3d2. So here all these types of the example Xc contain, that is HCF4, HCOF4 example it having the sp3d2 hybridization and what we can say isostructural. But we can't say this is the isoelectronic. This example, this both example are isostructural. ये दो एग्जांपल आइसोस्ट्रक्चरल नहीं है, आइसोस्ट्रक्चरल भी नहीं है और आइसो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक भी नहीं है. अब हम यहाँ पे इस स्ट्रक्चर से ये कहते हैं कि IF5, ICL5 और उसके बाद में BRF5. This example, this one and this three example are having the isostructural. But this HCF4, this is not isostructural, because isostructural as well as isoelectronic. Why? Because of the total number of electron is different. Lone pair and bond pair of electron की संख्या भी different है, total number of electron भी different है और इसका ज्योमेट्री भी different है. देखो इसमें ज्योमेट्री क्या है, ये स्क्वायर प्लेनर है, इसका ज्योमेट्री स्क्वायर पिरामिडल है, स्क्वायर पिरामिडल. That's why these example IF5, ICL5, BRF5 and ECOF4, these examples, as we can say, this is called as what, isostructural, but the HCl4 it is not isostructural as well as isoelectronic. When we call the isostructural, the geometry must be similar. When we call this isoelectronic, the number of the electron must be similar.